Okay, this is going to be a tutorial about how to get up and running with dualfoil. So, if you aren't aware of what this is some software written by John Newman and his coworkers. I believe Mark Doyle and Tom Fuller. They're the ones that released the papers in the 90s about the math underlying this software for simulating specifically lithium and sodium and nickel metal hydride batteries. And so it's specifically for intercalation type electrodes. And so I've been trying to use this, and I ran into a couple of problems. So I wanted to just show you what I've done to circumvent that, and so there may be other things you can do. But I'll start off and just show you. So I'm in a blank directory. And so I'll just show you how I approached this. And so I first downloaded dualfoil. And so it's just a text file, so you can move it over. So now we have it over here, and I'm going to rename it so that I can get the syntax highlighting with Vim. And so this is, you can see here, 6,000 lines of Fortran 77, which I'm not an anti-Fortran person. Fortran 90 I think is fine language. It's got modules, and that's really the innovation of that language that seems to me to be the most obviously lacking from this, because it's literally one file just so long, and then we have the subroutines at the bottom. But essentially, though, they don't expect you to really interface with the code via the Fortran file. So they have this configuration file, and you can use curl to download it, and it needs to be named lithium-ion.in, or let's see really quick. And so this is essentially like how they expect users to interface with their program. So when you look at how this works, you can see just from some basic understanding of Fortran, you can see that it's going to look for this lithium-ion.in. It's going to read this file. So you can give it. They give you a sample nickel metal hydride configuration, but this is the config that they kind of expect you to use. So it's not terrible. You can they have, so in Fortran the exclamation point is a comment. So this file, you can kind of reformat it and look at it, and there's actually documentation on what all these parameters are, like thickness of the electrodes, thickness of the separator, etc. But I'll show you what happens when I'll make a quick make file, and we'll just compile it. I have gfortran already installed. And so we'll just have it like that. And so it gives you these warnings, and I'm not sure if those are, from something, just some type of little syntactic thing. It does compile. These are just warnings. They're not actually errors. So it will run. And so you'll see that it gets these. Oh, sorry, I need to get one more file. This lithium-ion ebar in. So you can just curl that file also. And it needs to have this name, lithium-ion-ebar in. And so now it should be at least able to run. And so what we'll see, though, is that it has an error. And so, I mean, you've seen what I've done so far. I've just literally downloaded these 3 files off of the website, and it doesn't work correctly. And so I'm not sure if again, I'm just kind of have been hacking this together, so I don't know if there's other things specifically about this that I'm not aware of. But I noticed when I was looking around, there's this guy on this GitHub repo that has an older version of dualfoil, and so I looked into that, and actually this 5.1 version does work. And so as he mentions on here, the 5.1 version is no longer on the Newman Fortran website. Let me actually. So I also have the Fortran, or the Intel Fortran compiler. So I'm gonna see if it'll actually go faster with that, because I want to see what the error says on here. So it gives you, again, some warnings, and we can see, like, whenever you run it with the Intel compiler, it actually shows you that it's running on these different steps, and that it's producing nans, which is not a number, which is not good for any numerical programming that's like this. What I want to do is to just show you what I did to circumvent this. So let me add one more thing to this. So this lithium ion, and I'm not sure, it may be this, these blank lines may be what the problem is, but let me test that really quick. But I don't think that is the problem. And so I'll show you, you can just this guy has the, and I'll, you can see what this, yeah, so that wasn't the problem. So you can look at this guy's repo, and he has dualfoil 5.1.f. So you can navigate over to this. And what we'll do, I'll just, I'm going to remove dualfoil 5.2.f. So I still have these other files. And so I'm just going to curl this off of here, off of the GitHub version. And then I'm going to, just to make sure that the problem is not with the actual these input configuration files. I'm just going to get rid of that and get this off here. So for this version, it needs to be, this is the file name. And so, if you're just looking quickly, I know it's painful for some people to look at Fortran code, but you can see if you look at here, it's looking for this file, dualfoil 5.1.in, as the input. And so you can change this stuff if they have these comments in here. You can obviously change this stuff if you want to just make it more user friendly to, you could possibly pass the input file as an argument to this. And so after it's compiled, you could, for instance, make the input file an argument that gets passed to dualfoil, which that's one option. But for now, I'm just, again, hacking on this. So now we have a new version compiled with 5.1. And so you can see that, let's see, private. So you need to get the raw text, not HTML. This is what happens when you're just a hacker. All right, so now we have the config file. So now it should work, and it does. And so that's what that's the lesson here that I've learned, is that aside from putting a lot of effort into debugging whatever is the problem with 5.2 version, you can just get this up and running with this older version. And this guy whose repo this is said, I think he has a similar comment about, or he says that it doesn't compile correctly, or compiles oddly for me, is what he says. But so then you can look at these output files, and I've already I just set up this directory to show you kind of how to get started on it, but I've already done some stuff with just getting like some basic parsing functions in Python to just read those files. So like, for instance, oops. So this is like what the output you can get from this stuff is. And so you can get the OCV cell voltage. This is current right here. These are concentration profiles with respect to time. So this is like the evolution of those profiles. This is the solid phase potential throughout the electrode thickness. And so these, I've just wrote this stuff, but it I'm just showing you where the edges of the electrodes and the separator are with these dashed lines. And so you can also see like the liquid phase potential. And so I've just been kind of starting to mess around with this. And so you can look at the output files. And so all these .out files, this the one that where these profiles are held in the profiles.out. And so you can kind of put something together that, I just have a data frame that parses this, or, a function that parses each of these. And so each of these in this file is a single instance in time. So this is the time at which this profile exists. So that's where all these different profiles are in this file. And so you can also look at, they have the resistances. And so, you can build some pretty basic parsing functions and stuff to look at these files. But that's pretty much what I just wanted to show, to just use the 5.1 version off this guy's GitHub, and I'll leave a link for it. And